Let's go, mates! For those unfamiliar, Iceberg charts display trivia and more about a piece of media. The deeper it goes, the more obscure and disturbing the facts get. Today, we look at the Weekly Planet Iceberg, created by yours truly, with the help of everyone who responded to these posts. The Weekly Planet is a podcast that talks about movies, comics, TV shows, and anything else you'd find at a comic book store. A new episode is uploaded every Monday. The podcast has been going for over a decade, and today we're going through the lore. This video is part 1 of 7. For part 1, we will look at the sky. Everything here is for beginners. So, without further ado, let's begin. Mr. Sunday Movies. Mr. Sunday Movies is one of many nicknames for the main host of the Weekly Planet. His real name is James Clement, making him a candidate for the YouTuber named James Rumble. Mr. Sunday Movies is also the name of the main YouTube channel for the Weekly Planet. The icon is a goat version of Han Solo, the handsome bad boy smuggler from Star Wars. For those who don't know, Star Wars is a franchise about space adventures and adventures in space. There's wizards, creatures, bounty hunters, death, politics, and more. I'm saying this now because it's gonna come up a lot. While there is a Weekly Planet channel and a Weekly Planet Clips channel, the channel everyone knows is Mr. Sunday Movies. On Mr. Sunday Movies, sections of the podcast are uploaded with clips played alongside them to match whatever the hosts are saying. New videos are uploaded every Thursday and, of course, Sunday. Nick Mason. Operating under a variety of aliases, Nick Mason is the less informed co-host of the Weekly Planet. James and Mason have been friends since childhood. Caravan of Garbage. Caravan of Garbage is the most common type of video on Mr. Sunday Movies. At the beginning of Caravan of Garbage, James and Meso talked about mostly obscure movies, comics, video games, and other things. Despite the name, not everything they cover is garbage. Over time, more famous things were allowed to be discussed on Caravan of Garbage. Usually, the thing is related to an upcoming geek release. The normal YouTube cut is always slightly condensed. The name Caravan of Garbage is actually a reference to the Star Wars Ewok special titled Caravan of Courage. A lot of Caravan of Garbage, and I guess the Weekly Planet in general, is just James and Meso going, "Ha! Look at that idiot from another time period and their stupid fashion!" Or, "Ha! Look at that other idiot pretending to be a teenager when they're clearly an adult." Australia. As you may have guessed by their accents, James and Meso are Australians. Because of this, there's a lot of references to their home throughout the Weekly Planet.
They have what I would consider to be the worst Australian accents ever committed to film.
Wow.
But I have a theory about it.
What's that?
So I would say you and I have like fairly typical Australian accents.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's people out there who are like, no. I've heard Australians speak. I've met Australians and you all sound like Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, that's right.
Guess what, people out there? We tricked you. Because that's what we do. When Australians go overseas, the Australian accent, it gets bigger and broader and dumber.
Yeah.
Right? We turn on the Australian charm to either get you into bed or into one of our fabulous zoos. Crikey. What's happened to these characters is that they have gone overseas to Hong Kong. And they're like, here we go. Going to go to the nightclubs, going to put on a bit of true blue Aussie charm, and I'm going to reel in the ladies. And one of them goes out to the nightclub and he's like, "G'day, darling. What's a top Sheila like you doing at a place like this?" And she's like, "There's a 1,000-foot tall monster outside. And he's headbutting the city to pieces." And so he's had to just keep upping the ante until he's like, "Struth, stone the crows, Margaret." Surely he would have been thwarted at least a few times by the Dolomites.
That's right.
We make saving fun and easy, whatever the amount. A dollar might go further in a Dolomite account.
The fun-loving aliens who encourage children to save.
Yeah, well, or get locked into, savings accounts at a specific bank at a very young age. It's like Mark Jacko Jackson the Energizer Man.
Incredible reference. I love that. That's great. Starting off 2023 with impenetrable references. Not only local, but local and 40 years ago. He played Jetto on The Highwayman.
He did, you're right, yeah.
He was like the Energizer Bunny, but he was an Australian bogan.
He was a man.
Yeah, he was a regular man. He was not a regular man. It's not important.
BigSandwich.co. BigSandwich.co is the Weekly Planet version of Patreon. For $9 a month, you get early videos, video game Let's Plays, movie commentaries, bonus podcasts, a comic book club, and more. You know this because it's advertised at the end of every video. The name stems from this moment from episode 281.
Oh, thanks to everybody who...
Oh. What's up, bud? What's up?
That's a big sandwich.
You want a big sandwich?
Oh.
All right, guys, I'm just going to go get a big sandwich for my son. I'll be back. Guys, we're back. I made a big sandwich. Say that again?
Shooting Up Your Butthole. On October 15th, 2013, episode 3 of The Weekly Planet was released. In said episode, Meso said this.
All right, so I thought we could start with, you're obviously familiar with the characters of Batman and Superman.
Yes.
And you're obviously familiar with the movie that's coming out. I thought for everybody listening at home, and us as well, I just thought I'd go over some facts, some cold hard facts we know about the movie to be true.
That's what we're about.
So
Cold hard facts.
and
red hot comic book movie news. Shooting up your butthole. That's a new catchphrase, by the way. I know.
Shooting up your butthole.
Red hot comic book movie facts. Shooting up your butthole. I realise I didn't discuss it with you in advance.
Why would you? Just
No,
bring it
but
up,
I
it's
think it's
fine.
going to get... Look, all the websites I went to, they were really keen on the
Oh,
idea.
good. Excellent.
Buttstuff.com. Nobody looked that up. It's probably a real website.
Yeah,
Don't look it up.
Well, Gabriel Bruton heard this and thought it was a great idea for an intro. So he made it into an intro, sent it to the Weekly Planet, and James used it for the 7th episode.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
This intro ended up being used for nearly a decade until it was slightly edited, starting in episode 462.
Red hot comic book movie news, Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday, and with me always for the first podcast of the new year is my co-host, Nick Mason, loving that new theme song.
I'm loving it. We're back, and 2023, new year, new us, and some people might say, 2023, start afresh, for people who want to get into podcasts. But I say no, add an impenetrable layer to the podcast
Correct.
of just an inside joke that people who haven't been listening for literally years will not
And
get.
they'll go to a Reddit page and they'll say, what's the deal with this? And it'll just be all joke answers.
And then they'll leave. And that's what we want. New listeners leave.
I think, though, that is more penetrable than the previous theme song, though. I feel, which was also penetrable in its own way. Yeah. Anyway.
Is that the correct usage of that word? Is that even a word?
Mason, yes.
Defenders of the Earth will be elaborated on later down the line. In 2024, the intro was changed yet again to this.
The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
This was likely for copyright reasons. Originally, 2024 was going to introduce us to this intro.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Despite being made by the same person, James thought it would turn people off due to being too different. So it was never used, which is a shame because it's way better than the other intro. Ben and Laurence. Ben and Laurence are the editors of the Mr. Sunday Movies uploads. James and Meso often tell them to do stuff, much to their chagrin.
Why am I fixing this movie from fucking 13 years ago? Nobody cares.
Exactly, because that's Ben's job.
Hey Ben, we need a really competent edit of this film. We'll link it below when you've done. But
right.
we need you to fix this.
More naked hijinks, if you wouldn't mind. That's what gets the clicks.
I accidentally glued my hand to him though. That's why I'm carrying him around. My bat glue went off.
That's right.
Damn it! Sucks now.
Some people say I should just take the glove off, but I glued the glove to my hand earlier, an earlier incident.
Oh no, it's both hands now.
And my hand can't swing from the rooftops.
What was I thinking? I've glued myself to... I saw Batman glue himself to the Joker. I just thought I'd do it.
And I've Kryptonian glued myself to this end table. Son, help. We don't have super strength here, we're just regular.
In terms of donkey origin, Mason, I'm sure there's a joke here about donkey origin and Don Quixote or something, right? There's something here. Ben, what's this? Ben and Laurence, what is this?
Fix this thing we've said. Finish our jokes, please.
So, the idea of Donkey is that he's probably from a Grimm's fairy tale.
Donkeys eat oaties.
Don't fix it, Mason. They'll fix it.
Fix it, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll delete this in the edit, James.
Yeah.
Delete that audio.
Laurence also edits for the YouTube channel Heavy Spoilers. Ben also has another assistant editor named Maddie. Ben actually has his own YouTube channel titled Ben from Canada, where he also talks about movies. Sometimes. Grab Dat Gem. Grab Dat Gem is Wikipedia Brown's reoccurring catchphrase that is said at the end of nearly every episode.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you later. Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you then. Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week.
The phrase was first uttered in episode 45 in reference to Guardians of the Galaxy. Spoilers, by the way.
Last question. Should people be grabbing that gem?
Yeah, grab that gem.
I don't know, man.
No, make it. What if you're one of the chosen people? Why not?
Don't take the chance.
No, take the chance. You're in space. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, explode. You might explode. But you probably, like, if you're in space, you find yourself in space, you're probably destined for great things. So just grab that gem.
Good point.
Yeah.
You got
That's
it.
a new sign off, by the way. Grab that gem.
All right.
Hashtag grab that gem.
Nice. It's better than eat them eggs.
Absolutely,
Because they enjoy your burrito. It's similar.
Absolutely. And I can't remember how I made that reference, so. This one I'll definitely remember.
Definitely.
That's all we have for today. The next layer will be the mere tip of the iceberg. Here's a preview.
It's actually the movie Joker.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. Grab that gem and I'll see you next month or so.